It was a relationship that began in a blaze of controversy, and it finishes with a similar shockwave as Fremantle lowers the axe on Ross Lyon.
It's not about particular wins and losses. This has been something that we have deliberated over past months, and having arrived at a decision, we're now presenting it today. This is about the future of the club.
I would have liked to have finished next year when we've had our best available. We've beaten 6 of the top 8. We've been in the finals. We beat Geelong last week with 8 of our 16, best 16 out. But that's why I probably don't agree with the decision, but I certainly respect the decision.
We are concerned that if we did not make this decision today, we would be, in a sense, treading water for 12 months. So we've brought that forward and made that decision today.
There was no way that the club would extend me. I wouldn't have thought beyond 2020. The noise around that was a lot for them, and they wanted some clean air, and have made some big decisions.
Clearly, news like this, when it is not expected, is tough. There is no doubt about it. It is a tough day for our club, and I think everyone internally is hurting.
As I said to the players, I would sign it again. And the ride is worth the fall. It's an amazing ride.
This is a decision that has been made by the directors and the board of the Fremantle Football Club without any input from the AFL or the WAFC. It is our decision. We wear it, and we wear the upside and the downside of this decision. I think it's bold. I think it's required, and we will need to significantly improve on and off field, and we stand by the decision. It's the right decision.
I leave not having achieved what I want to, but the club, I wish them all the best, and I'll watch with interest, and particularly this weekend.
The president and the ex-coach as the day unfolded. It was an old school sacking. It came with a decent level of shock. There weren't the niceties of attempting to sit together and manufacture an ending. There was the differing of opinions, and it was just said straight, this is required. I don't agree with it. I respect the way, total respect for the way the day unfolded.
I got total respect for Dale Alcock. He's like the presidential equivalent of Ross. Strong, pragmatic, ruthless. He came in, he didn't mince his words. He didn't defend his actions, which is Ross all over Jared. He just came in and said how it is and said, right, we're moving on. Fremantle have done that twice now, in my recent memory. You know, Ross with Mark Harvey, you're out. See you later. And this year, today, see you later, Ross. Thanks for your time, 8 years at the football club. Got them close, didn't happen. They're in rebuild. It felt the way Ross was talking in recent weeks, and it's easy to say this in hindsight, but he's been saying some stuff that was unusual for Ross. He's not usually one to talk himself up. He is old school. He's Dennis Pagan old school. Don't have to tell everyone how good you are, pal. If you're good, they'll tell you. And everyone's been telling Ross that for many, many years. So in hindsight, you know, when you think about that, did he have an inkling? Maybe. But he was blindsided today. Again, I've said what I said about Steve Rossich. But they are he is a ruthless person. Alcock, ruthless in a very positive description.
Yeah, the one thing that rang most true was once they knew that he wasn't going to be the long-term coach, you can't waste 12 months. You can't limp through 12 months for all the tension that brings, for all the speculation that it gives, for how unproductive that can be. But you can't mark time in this competition. I reckon we've seen that recently. Once you know he's not your guy. So St Kilda tread water for a year because they didn't do what they came to a conclusion that they couldn't enact for whatever reason. Fremantle have come to that conclusion and gone, you know what, let's just do it and let's get on with reinventing the future.
He was quite curiously Rossi to the end, wasn't he? And I know you think I've got an unhealthy fascination with him. I've always enjoyed his hardness. I think he's one coach who understands or openly talks about the ruthless side of this game. But he still went out with some really good cracking one-liners today.
He was in good form.
Jared. But, you know, everyone will say this. It is a brutal business. We say it every time a coach is sacked. But I think Ross knows that more than anyone, that this is a brutal business.